Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. Welcome to the Change Book International podcast. And as you know, that's every Monday that I bring you another one of our amazing authors. Today is no exception. We have John Jones with us, and I'm very excited to meet him. So, John, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
I'm glad you made it. And so tell me, why did you pick the Change Book?
Well, the Change book was actually introduced to me by a friend of mine, Jim Lutz, and I got the opportunity to write a chapter. And at that time, I was just going through a new venture, and I just thought it would be a new way to launch what I was doing and what I was all about, really.
That's wonderful. And I think you know as well as I do that anytime you kind of put your head together with Jim Lutz, amazing things happen.
Absolutely.
Good, good. Well, tell us about yourself and tell us what that amazing venture was.
Yeah, so I live up here in Leadville, Colorado, in the Rocky Mountains, and it's a little fun fact: it's the highest incorporated elevation city in the United States at 10,200 feet elevation. So, anyway, back when I met Jim, I actually met him through a different company
Okay.
a long time ago. And when I met Jim and he introduced me to this Change Series book, I was working on a venture called LifeWorks University. And what that it is a program that helps you to design and live the life of your dreams, whatever that means to you.
I want it.
Yeah, and it's based on four different things. It's based on four simple steps: your vision, your mission, your action plan, and your collaboration. And your vision is basically just seeing your future. Your mission is your plan. Your action is actually executing that plan. And then the collaboration is what we call the mastermind. And that goes back to the old Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich, that when two collective minds come together, that a third collective consciousness is created and things happen for you. Ideas spring up and things like that. And there was 8 areas of priority that we focus on as well: health and wellness, success, education, wealth, romance, lifestyle, relationships, recreation, and purpose and passion. So as part of LifeWorks journey and my vision for myself, I started looking for what I'm passionate about, and which led me to my current journey that I'm on right now with the Rocky Mountain Entrepreneur. And what we're all about is we have aligned with a company that has designed a process that turns plastic waste into pyrolysis oil. And then it also has a financial component on there that you can invest and you don't even have to build the business yourself. You can just be an investor with us and help clean up the environment. Because the sad fact is that today there's about 500 million tons of plastic produced every year.
Oh.
And there's more and more. In fact, by 2050, the production of plastic is set to triple.
That's scary.
And the sad thing is there's only about 6 to 9% globally that's actually recycled. The rest of it ends up in landfills or, being burned, or worse yet, ends up in the oceans.
Yes.
So this company, it's a 2-pronged company that I've partnered with. And the parent company, Cosair, is the actual people that do the work. And they turn the plastic waste into pyrolysis oil. And the marketing arm is called Amplivo. And what they've done is they have a CSR 25 token. It's backed by the second largest blockchain, Ethereum. And you can, and what I like about this is even as a small investment, you can make a big difference, because you can start out by investing as little as 10 euros, and they do everything in euros because it's in crypto and companies over in Finland, and all the way up to a big investment of 100,000 euros. And for every package that someone buys, they are personally responsible for plastic waste being recycled. So are they going to get it all? Of course not, because there's stuff that ends up in the ocean. It's very hard to collect and things like that. So I still do a lot of the life coaching, but I also am reaching out what's important to me, and helping clean up the environment. And my motto with Rocky Mountain Entrepreneur I've come up with is living well while doing good.
Ooh, I like that. I
So
like that.
that's kind of like my tagline now, living well while doing good.
Yeah, and I'm going to have you explain something to me. I know most people know what this is, but can you explain what is blockchain?
So the blockchain, I'll be perfectly honest. I'm very new to this way of investing, but from what I see, the blockchain is just a way of the cryptocurrency to invest through various means. So there's obviously the biggest one is Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Bitcoin. If you rode the Bitcoin train, if you got it back years ago when it was pennies, well, guess what? One Bitcoin today is worth over $101,000.
Isn't that
So,
insane?
so it's amazing. And currently, right now, the CSR 25, unit is trading at about 11 cents. But we have a platform through Amplivo where you can purchase these for about 3 cents and hold them. And then when these companies call on you, or they call on these purchase of these credits, these plastic credits, when they need them, you can trade them in, sell them to these companies, or sell them on the open market.
Oh,
And
how interesting.
so,
Yeah.
so, and the company that's with Cosair is right now, they're about $150 million company. And the CEO, on an interview about 2 weeks ago that I was on with him, he projected that the company is going to be in the next 3 years, go to a $2 billion company from
Wow.
150 million, just because of the big need for this plastic waste recycling.
Yeah.
And it's basically a very simple process. It's taking the plastic garbage, converting it to pyrolysis oil, and that pyrolysis oil does two things. It runs the machines that do the process, and it creates new renewable plastic.
Okay. And tell me what that's called again, what it turns it into?
It's pyrolysis oil, and the easy way to say it is biofuel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand that. The other one, I'm like, what is
Yeah,
that?
that's the technical name for it, and the new thing is that the easier way to say it's biofuel.
And when it turns to biofuel, what purpose does it serve then?
So like I said, there's two purposes. The first purpose is to run the machines that actually convert the process that do the process, and the second process is to turn the plastic waste into biofuel and back into cleaner renewable plastics.
Okay. And I remember, I'm old, so I remember everything used to be in glass,
Right.
Your sodas. Was plastic just a cheaper option? Why did they go to plastic?
I remember those days too, when all the Coke bottles were in glass,
Yeah.
things like that. I think it was just, number one, it's lighter, it's easier to ship. I remember being in a company actually with Jim that years ago, and it was a water company, right, where we had bottles and stuff, and that was big. The biggest part of the problem was the weight of it. So think about
Oh,
glass bottles, of weight, of shipping cost, of and maybe manufacturing. I'm not a glass manufacturer, but I'm assuming it's a little bit harder to make a glass bottle maybe than it is a plastic bottle. So just convenience, ease of shipping, lesser shipping cost. The plastic weighs less. Than if a plastic bottle and glass bottle is in your hand, obviously the
that
plastic
makes
bottle
sense.
is going to weigh a lot less.
Yeah.
But the problem is it takes a long time to biodegrade in the landfill. I mean, multiple years. I mean, I'm talking like, multiple hundreds of years even
Ooh.
for plastics to degrade,
Okay.
to biodegrade. So that's why this process is so impressive, because it can take this plastic waste, use the process very quickly, turn it into pyrolysis oil, and then turn it into new reusable plastics. And plastics is all around us: our pens, our phones, our staplers, our stamps. I mean, just in a couple minutes, I can pick up 10 things on my desk that are made of plastic.
Isn't that crazy? I mean,
Yeah.
when you put it that way, you're absolutely right. And I can remember the days when we started recycling. and you had the green can and you had your regular. And I mean, I was just adamant. I recycled everything. But probably within the last year or so, I was told it doesn't do any good. They
That's right.
just throw it all away.
It actually just goes to a different part of the landfill. You're actually just helping the collectors of that, garbage separate it out. You're just doing the sorting for them. And then they just take it to that green truck or that blue truck just goes to a different part of the landfill.
Gotcha. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you talked about the oceans, about it helping the oceans. Can you expound on that a little bit?
So, the biggest challenge with the oceans is the plastic that is how do we collect it? And over in certain countries now, they're actually taking fishermen and paying them to go collect the plastic waste and bring it to these recycling centers. Because right now there's two major recycling centers that do this process, and the goal is and the thing is these are not huge factories they have to go build. These are smaller factories, and smaller machines that do this process. So you're not talking about a huge footprint of hundreds of thousands of acres for a big chemical factory. You're talking about a small factory. So the idea is that this waste is going to be collected wherever it is, whether it's in the oceans or whether people bring it to the recycling centers themselves and actually know that they're making a difference, or they can invest through Amplivo, which is the marketing arm of the CSR 25 tokens. And then that is a proof of work token that actually lets the company say, hey, here's the investment. I made the investment for you to do the work. Now go out and do it. So it's actually called a proof of work token. So it's the first really cryptocurrency that I've seen that's really tied to anything. Most of them are just like an investment. Like I buy it, I hope it goes up, right? Well, this is different. You're buying this little CSR 25 token, and for every package, whether it's 10 euros, 50 euros, 100, all the way up to 100,000 euros, that translates into a certain amount of plastic waste that's being recycled on your behalf.
Ooh, that's really catchy when you hear it like that. So this sounds like a ground level opportunity for a lot of people.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Because like I said, it's just kind of like getting in on Bitcoin when it first started, back when it wasn't worth anything. And now X amount of years later, it trades at $101,000 per coin.
It's crazy.
So right now, like I said, it's pretty new. It's the CSR 25 tokens trading at about 11 cents, on L Bank. So, but the thing is if you just go buy it, that by itself, that's not tied to anything. If you buy it through Amplivo and Cosair, it's actually a proof of work token that tells this company, go recycle this plastic waste on my behalf. And there's, like I said, there's any level of investment somebody can make with us to make a big difference. They can make as little as 10 euros and all the way up to 100,000 euros. And the great thing is you can do it whenever you feel like. It's not like some companies that require, a lot of the companies you get involved with, that they require what they call an auto ship, a certain amount of purchase every month.
Right.
This isn't like that. You can do one time, you can do it every month, you can do it whenever you like. Whenever you feel like, hey, I've got some extra money, I want to make an investment that I know is going to make a difference. And that's what turned me on to it, because so many of our investments are just for ourselves, right? Or just for our family. We say, oh, hey, I'm going to make this investment in this stock or this company, and I hope it goes up and I hope I make some money. But there's no benefit to anybody else but you, and of course to the company because you're buying their stock. But this is something that not only benefits you financially, it also benefits the globe, in the environment. And you're making a big difference. Even with the small package of 10 euros, you're recycling, 150 pounds or 200 pounds of plastic waste all the way up to 100,000 euros.
That's a lot. And I saw something in your bio. It said you were impressed with solving real world problems.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, these are challenges that we will continue to face. And like I said, by 2050, the plastic production is set to triple from 500 million to whatever that is, 1.5 billion probably, right? And just to give you an idea of what 500 million tons of plastic is, that's more than the weight of every combined human on the planet.
You're kidding.
And that's how much is currently produced every year. Is 500 million tons of plastic is produced every year. And that's more than the combined weight of every single person on the planet. So that just puts it in scope for you, just about how much that is.
That's a jaw-dropping perspective right there.
Right.
Because
remember only 6 to 9% of that is actually recycled.
Yeah, that's crazy. So how did you find this opportunity?
So like I said, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a networker, and I found this opportunity through a friend of mine that I was with with another company 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And we reconnected through networking and, different social media because, everybody's on everything now, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, so everybody's got an account everywhere. And we just reconnected and he said, "Hey, what are you doing these days?" And I told him about LifeWorks and I told him about Rocky Mountain Entrepreneur and how I was, I live up here in the green and clean area. I've got 5 neighbors on a dirt road up here where I live. So,
that sounds like heaven.
Yeah. So, it was just a reconnection of an old acquaintance. And he introduced me to this, showed me a short, 10-minute video. It made total sense to me. And I got started. And now I'm out on a mission beyond LifeWorks. This is my passion. Besides just coaching is what I was doing. And I still do when I co-authored my chapter in the change. And coaching is still very important to me about finding people's passion, because this won't be for everybody. They might say, "Hey, you know what? It sounds good. Here, I'm going to throw a little bit of money at it. Hope it does good." And there's going to be other people like me that are going to go out and actively recruit people to find people. So, there is a direct sales component to it as well. But that's the main thing is like, hey, we're all working together for a real world problem, which is elimination of plastic waste from the planet.
Yeah.
And will we get it all? No, absolutely not. But if, the goal is in the next 2 years to have a 12% reduction of plastic waste. That's the company's goal. That's Corsair's goal, is to make enough of a difference where they can reduce 12% of the plastic waste within the next.
And anything helps, doesn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, anything helps. So your is your book out yet?
Yes, it's already been out. It's been out for maybe over a year now, I guess,
Okay.
with the change book. And I've co-authored another book that I did with LifeWorks called LifeWorks. We did it back during COVID. LifeWorks 2020: How Our Vision Made Us Unstoppable. Because we took a lot of the challenges that people were facing back then, and we co-authored a book. And then I've written a new book that's available on my website, Rocky Mountain Entrepreneur, and it's rocky-mountain-entrepreneur.com, called Living Well, Doing Good. So I've written that book's purely me. It's about, hey, it's about my journey and my vision and my mission, and how I got there, and how you can get there, and what the steps you need to take to get to where you want to go, to live the life of your dreams for you, whatever that means for you. Because my life, my dreams is where I am. I'm up here in the Rocky Mountains. I go walk my dog by the creek every day. I get to go on beautiful podcasts like this and spread my mission and spread my word. And, and then I get to go meet other great people, find out where they are, and take them to where they want to go.
Wow.
That's my mission.
All the while living that clean life in the Rocky Mountains. What more can you ask for, right? That's amazing. So how do you guide someone? I have a lot of people that I work with. I'm different. Mine's, the healing modalities. But some people are like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. How do you help them find, like, internally who they are?
Well, the first thing that we do with the LifeWorks curriculum is we take them through a vision exercise. So it's about a 17-minute guided meditation, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's followed up by a written exercise that basically you're writing a letter to me a year from now, and saying, hey, all my dreams have come true. Everything I've envisioned has come true. And it's putting that vision to paper. Because when I first did this vision exercise back in 2018 was when I was first introduced to LifeWorks. And I first did it, and I kind of did the closed eye meditation. And you know what? It didn't really do anything for me until I picked up the pen and put my vision to paper. And when I put
Interesting.
my vision to paper, I wrote out 5 pages of a letter of everything that had come through true to my life. And I said, because I had certain things that I wanted. I wanted a home in the mountains. At the time, I was living in Dallas, Texas, which is a very, very busy, huge
Oh,
metropolis with, and I said, I have a home in the mountains. I have this, I have this. And you know what? Now I have that home in the mountains. You can see, you can't see out my window,
yeah.
can't see out my window, but I'm up here at 10,000 feet,
Whew.
living the life of my dreams, and it took some acclimation getting used to it, getting used to the elevation. But
Yeah.
that's step one, is getting that crystal clear vision in your mind of exactly what you want. Because not everybody wants the same thing. Not everybody wants, to live in the mountains. Some people want to live at the beach. Some people want to, and it's what's your vision for your life? Because that's what's important. Because everybody's different in that. Everybody's different in their vision. So that's the step one. And then the step two is getting the plan. And we have a whole, with the LifeWorks Life Mastery System, we have a whole system and exercises and daily plans, and your big yearly plan that breaks it down to quarterly, that breaks it down to monthly, that breaks it down to daily, that breaks it down to here's my day and here's my bucket and here's my 24-hour bucket of how much that I have in the day. And you only have that 24 hours each day to fill that bucket. And it's, how do I fill it with things that can only be done by me? And then what do I delegate? And then, what do I put off till the next day that, it's not critical today to get to where I want to go. And like I said, there's 8 areas of priority. And, the most successful people in the world that I've met, they're successful in maybe 5, maybe 4 or 5 out of them, but there's four or 5 of them that they still struggle with. Maybe they're super focused on their career and making money, but their health is deteriorating. Their family relationships are deteriorating because they're absent. They're gone. They're big CEOs of companies and they're at work 60, 70, 80 hours a week building an empire. But they've let their family go. They've let their recreation go. They don't have that romance with their significant other anymore. So that's what LifeWorks is all about, is finding that balance and finding that passion for you, and then giving you the opportunity also to explore those passion projects like I found with Cosair and Amplivo. And I found it because of my balance in my life that LifeWorks gave me. So LifeWorks gave me a passion for coaching and helping others, but it also gave me the passion to continue exploring other passion projects for myself.
Wow. So did you start as a student and then
Yeah.
it was so amazing you thought, okay, I want to help others?
Yes, I started as a student. Then I got part of the book project, and I wrote a chapter in that book, LifeWorks 2020, How Our Vision Made Us Unstoppable. And then I found the Change Project through Jim. I co-authored a chapter in that book around the same kind of lines. And then I found this opportunity through an old acquaintance. And now I've authored a 3rd book on my own, about living well while doing good.
Wow. And that certainly speaks highly of not only networking, but keeping in touch with people. Don't lose contact, maybe just reaching out every once in a while, and you never know what someone is doing or what opportunity might arise for you, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, I've got connections in my cell phone that, people maybe I haven't spoken to in 15 years. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, something comes up. And because I had their number, I talked to them and said, hey, have you heard of, yeah, actually, I have heard about this. Or, so just keeping those connections and keeping up with people. And it's so hard because, you get Facebook where some people have, 5,000 friends on Facebook, and you're like, how can you possibly keep track of all those? Well, you can't.
Yeah. And you don't, some of them you don't even know.
Right. That's right. But what you can do is you can keep telling your story through whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever it is. Just keep posting about your life and what you're doing, and those people will find you.
Ooh, that's very powerful.
That's what I found, is said, hey, you know what? Here's what I'm doing. Here's the good I'm doing today. and make those daily posts and share your passions. And then the people that are aligned with you and aligned with those passions will find you. They will
Wow.
say, hey, what you said resonated with me so much, I had to reach out to you. Because I've had that happen with me on LinkedIn and on Facebook, where I have the most connections. I've got like 7,700 connections on LinkedIn, and I'll make one little post and I'll get DMs or, private messages saying, hey, that post you did, I didn't want to comment because I was, I'm shy on the internet, but I wanted to send you a message that it made a difference for me. And I wanted
Wow.
to meet you. And I've done 3 other podcasts just like this one about my latest mission, just by sharing the story of and where this vision for this company is going. People have reached out to me and said, hey, I want you on my podcast. My audience needs to hear this. And so that's what I get up every day and do, is I go out and find people that could be aligned towards what my vision is and try to align them with me.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I'm someone that lives very close to the beach, walking distance. And we're in just the midst of, the summer crazy right now, because it's the Myrtle Beach area. And you can't, I go down later because I don't like to be around all the chaos and drunks and everything. But I went down last night and I just looked around, and there's cigarette butts and there's just litter, and there's like no respect for our beach right now. And so I go around picking things up. I'm that crazy little lady that,
Yeah.
but I just, it's very, very true though. We do need to save our earth. We've been talking about it for a long time. And this sounds like the perfect opportunity for people to become very invested in what you're doing and doing some good for the earth instead of harm.
Absolutely. For sure.
Yeah, that is great. Well, listen, we are almost out of time, and this went really fast, and you are a great podcast guest. So I thank you for
Thank
that.
you so much.
But, you have so much wisdom and knowledge that can you just share a nugget or two before you leave? What is important to you, and what should people know?
Well, what's important to me, number one, is helping people live the life of their dreams, whatever that means to them, finding their passions, finding their true calling for their life. And number two, I've always felt that when you align your vision and your success with your passion, the profits will flow. So don't focus on the profits, focus on your passions and focus on your vision for your future and where you want to go, and the profits will flow.
I love that. I absolutely. There's still hope for me. I know. There's still hope. Oh, well, John, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate your time, and the information that you bring is just priceless. So I wish you the greatest amount of success. But for our audience out there, I've got links to get a hold of John, and I would highly suggest, this sounds like a good opportunity. I might be checking my bank accounts to see where I can put some money. So Thank you for coming on. Thank you for being an awesome guest. And I hope to talk to you soon. To everyone else, get a hold of John, connect with him. He likes connections. And we will be back here next Monday with another amazing author that has another amazing story. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.